Hello everyone and welcome, it's Shanna. Now on today's video we're going to make 4 fantastic cards, and you could go very simple with them or you can add all the embellishments like I have. I have got the Paul Antonio Upright Italic Sentiments, and I've got all 4 of them. There is Merry Christmas, and it is just a press or foil plate that you can use. We've got Joy to the World, and we have Season's Greetings, and we have Happy Holidays. And the extra piece, I did not mean to print it out. It is the back sheet and I won't use it, so I'll just lay it aside. So these are the 4 upright italic sentiments, and they are huge. And these can stand alone by themselves to make a card, and they would be great production cards. If you had these 4 sets, you could just turn your glimmer on and press a bunch of sentiments and then add them to your cards, and you could really produce a lot of them because it's fairly simple. So what I'm going to do is I've got an A2 size panel. I'm going to bring in some matte gold cardstock, or I mean foil, and I'm going to lay the foil pretty side to pretty side of the die. You can see my glimmer machine, the light is green and we're ready to go. So I'm just taking an A2 size panel and laying it on there. And I've put 2 sentiments on there, and I'm trying to space them as evenly as I can. It's not going to be perfect, but it will work out. So I'm just bringing in my Platinum 6, and I'm going to pull my little platen off of there, and we'll run it through, and we'll take a look at our first 2 sentiments. And for this, I used Raven cardstock from Spellbinders and that matte gold, and it is beautiful. We've got Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and I'm going to take these 2 off, and they are hot, so I'm grabbing my little tool that you can lift them with, and then we will add the other 2 sentiments. I went ahead and pushed my platen back into my machine so that it will quickly heat up, and I didn't allow it time to kind of cool off. And I'm going to lay the other 2 sentiments down on there, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring in another panel. Now this panel here, I had chopped some off of it. It's larger than an A2, but it's smaller than a half size sheet of paper. And I'm going to bring in the gold foil again, and we'll go ahead and get this foiled up. Now, a lot of times I'll take the foiling out of the video, but this product is all about foiling or pressing, and I've chose to foil them. And so I thought I'd just leave it in. Plus, it's fairly simple. I am going to embellish these. I'm going to show you what they would look like just in and of themselves, because you certainly could use these sentiments just in and of themselves and have fantastic cards. And then we're going to step it up a notch. So here we've got Joy to the World and Season's Greetings on Oceanside cardstock from Spellbinders. Now I took a die and die cut out the Merry Christmas, and then I took my paper trimmer and just cut the other ones down. So I'm just going to show you what this would look like if we just went with the panels as they are, and I think they would be stunning Christmas cards just as is. So I've got some alabaster card bases, and I've got the Raven cardstock with the gold, and I'm going to lay it down on there, and I think this would be a very pretty Christmas card just like this. Now there's probably noise in the background that you're hearing. That is my 3-year-old grandson, soon to be 4, making all of his car sounds. We've got fire trucks and ambulances and I don't know, race cars and all kinds of noises, and that's what he is doing in the background. The oldest one crashed out and is taking a nap, so I am taking a minute to try and get a video edited and ready to go. So the Merry Christmas, it looks stunning on that alabaster. I did a portrait for one and a landscape for the other. Now for this one, I'm bringing in that Greenwich Market frame, and I just die cut out my card base with the frame, and then I used some gold metallic cardstock and created a frame, and we're going to use this for one of our cards. This particular frame, the Greenwich, is an embossing folder that has the dies that you can die cut and emboss at the same time. And so we're just going to lay the Season's Greetings inside this, and I've used a shaped card base and used the die to shape my card base, and you can see that is stunning in and of itself. Now I am bringing in the 3D embossing folder that pairs with a Dear Santa kit. I can't remember the exact name, but I will link all the materials in the description box below for you. and I've used some matte or some metallic gold, and I'm going to just get it laid down on my card base, and then we will add our joy to the world with it. And these are, you could simply stop here and have some fantastic cards with just those sentiments on that fantastic cardstock from Spellbinders with the background gold. And I think the black looks really nice on the alabaster, and you could quit right here and be done, and you'd have 4 fantastic cards. But hang on, because I'm going to bring in all the embellishments. I'm going to bring in this set here, and this is part of the Dear Santa collection. It's called the Festive Floral Mix, and I've die cut. I had just a blast die cutting all those pieces out. I brought my scrap bin in and just started die cutting and die cutting and die cutting, and there is a bunch in there. For this one, I'm going to use some black and some alabaster, and we're going to lay some decorative elements here. We've got poinsettias and we've got some ferns and leaves and stuff. And we're just I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna cluster these up. And we're just gonna add this to these cards just to add the extra flair to it. Like I said, you could have left them as is, and I think they were stunning just like that with the foiling on there. But I love this die set. Now I'm still playing around. This is not where I'm headed. I'm gonna go in the upper right and just put all of them there. But I love this little die set. It's just a mixture of little floral and leaf elements and stems and buds. And I just think you could use it on every single Christmas card if you wanted to. And so for this one, I just chose to bring in the alabaster and the black, the raven, and to just pair this on here and just add some extra fun to it. And that's what we're going to do with our other cards. We're just going to use little bits and pieces out of that tray that I've already previously die cut out, and just kind of fill in and just add some extra interest to these cards. And I think they're going to be stunning. Now, I did have a little bit of an interruption. My grandson is no longer making the little car sounds. He's now singing planet songs. He came in and he wanted to watch the planet and the black hole video on YouTube. Very much into planets. He knows all of the planets, all the orders that they're in, all of the details about them, and can put them in order and name them, and he'll be 4 at the end of the month. And both of my grandsons are like that. They just memorize everything. This little guy likes to sing, so there is a planet black hole song that is playing now, and he's in the background singing. He loves to sing. So I'm going to lay a black flower down here just to kind of even out our design, and I'm bringing in some gold gems from Spellbinders, and I'm going to lay those down on the poinsettias just to add some extra sparkle and for their, the inside of the floral centers. And so I'm just taking the larger ones and laying them down on there. And then I'm going to bring some of the smaller ones in and just add them here by my happy. And then that will finish off this card, and I think it's really pretty. Like I said, you could have just left it alone with a sentiment, but I had to bring in all the bells and whistles. For Merry Christmas, we're going to do much of the same. I had laid some of the pieces up there on the top of my desk. For this one, we're using black. We're using Treasured Stock Glitter Gold, and we've got some, I think we're going to bring in some alabaster for this one as well. Or maybe this is all black and gold. I think this is all black and gold. So I've got a black fern here, and I'm just going to get it laid down on there. And then we're just going to cluster these just like we did the rest of them, and for basically all 4 cards. So just a little update on VBS. I've spent the last 2 evenings at the church doing it, and we are almost there. One hallway, the theme is, it's Emerald Isle, and it's sheep and shepherds, and the Lord is my shepherd and all that. But so the one hallway that we did our little aquatic scene in last year, we're having to do, with the sheep and stuff. And it's been a struggle just to try and figure out what all to put on there. And so we got everything put together, and we decided that we needed to add some flowers, some butterflies, some birds, and a couple of signs down the hallway. So when I got home last night, I was there from 4:30 to 8. And then Pat had texted me and said, "Hey, are you about done?" Because neither one of us had eaten. And he's like, "I've got some coupons for the local restaurant. Let's just go there." So I got home, picked him up. We went and did that. And then I needed to go to the store because I had another funeral dinner. And so I had to make dessert for that. So I stopped in the store to pick up something. And so this time it's 9 o'clock. And I needed to die cut out all these pieces for this hallway. And so I was up until midnight die cutting out all of these flowers and butterflies and birds and all this stuff on my Cricut machine. So it was a late night. So this one came together really pretty. I love the black, white, or the black, gold, and alabaster combination. I think it's fantastic. And now we're just going to do our Joy to the World. And we've got some different teal colors. And this is all Spellbinders cardstock. And this is all in my scrap bin. All of it. I mean, I was just blowing up my scrap bin, and I absolutely love to do that. And I really thinned it out, and I've got a lot of elements here that I can just continue to pull through as I'm making my Christmas cards and just use these elements, and I'll have plenty left over when I get done. So we're just going to cluster it up. So then I got home and made the dessert, got the dessert ready, and then spent the whole night die cutting everything out, got it ready, was able to get cleaned up, and I was in bed by midnight, but then I woke up at 3 a.m. and could not get back to sleep. So I've had 3 hours sleep, and I've been chasing grandkids today, so I'm a little bit out of it. But anyway, the oldest one is down, so we've got some quiet time. Gunner's in there watching the planets in the solar system and the black hole, and he's eating some snackeries, is what he calls them. And so I thought I'd just finish this off. Now I've got to go back tonight. I ran the brownies this morning and I actually took all the pieces that I had made and dropped them off at the church. So they were at the church. And then I've got to go back again at 6 o'clock tonight. And I've got some of the team's going to join me there, and we're just going to finish it up. And then we'll be done for the weekend. We need to decorate the welcome table, and we've got some balloons, but we're not going to blow them up to the last minute because it is stifling hot here. And the church has been hot. Every night working has just been miserable. And so we're going to wait and blow those up closer to the time. And they'll have the air running Sunday full tilt for church and everything, so it'll be much cooler in there then. And it will start Sunday evening. And then my duties will be done because I don't teach. I just do the decoration for that. So that'll be nice. And then I'll be able to get back to crafting and getting my videos done in a timely fashion so that I'm not kind of under the wire. This one's going to air late because I just could not get it done. I tried, but by the time I got done die cutting all that stuff at midnight, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not I'm not filming. I had, all the die cut pieces ready to go, but I just wasn't ready to film. So anyway, I was able to get the boys a little bit later today than I normally do, so that was kind of nice. I still couldn't sleep, but I did try to rest a little bit. Actually caught a couple of videos of some of my YouTubers that I love to watch and just kind of rested and did that. So I've clustered up some alabaster and teal with that on that one, and we're just going to do, we're going to bring in a different color scheme for this one. For this one, we're going to go traditional with the red and the green, and we've just got some green cardstock. It's rainforest. And I've got some, what is this? Cranberry cardstock from Spellbinders that we're going to do the poinsettias in. And we're just going to layer some of these up and tuck some extra leaves in. And this one's going to be a little bit simpler than the other ones. But we've got that fantastic Greenwich Market Frame 3D embossed and cut panel there. And so I don't really feel like we need much. But I just think, like I said, you could go with just the upright italic sentiments and have some great cards, or you can take it to the next level and just add some little die cut pieces and just embellish it, and that's what I'm doing. And I love these cards. Now this, I did a double layer on this poinsettia, and it'll be a little bit fuller, and then I'll bring in a couple more, and this is the center. And I just had some glitter gold cardstock from the Treasured collection from Spellbinders, and I'm just going to get that positioned. It's awfully quiet in the other room. I probably should take a break and see what's going on. And I should have given the little guy a credit. He's in there just sitting nicely watching his little shows. Now, he is the wild card. He is the sweetest little thing, but he is the ornerous little booger. He's always looking for what he can get into next. Now, I'm thinking about tucking another leaf in here, and I'm thinking they're all too big. And I'm going to bring this fern leaf here. And what I'll do is I'll just decide to snip it down so that it doesn't seem so obtrusive on the top of that card base. So we'll just snip it down, add a little glue, and then we can just tuck it in there. I am in the man cave and Pat's little refrigerator is running, so if there's a humming noise, I apologize for that. Got lots of sounds to deal with on today's video, so my apologies. So I think I'm just going to tuck a couple more florals in with this. There is a smaller flower in this set, and I did die cut a bunch of those out. Didn't use any yet, but I'm going to add 2 of them. Maybe I used one on the first card. Anyway, I'm just going to add a couple of those, and we'll get some centers on them. And I think we've got another really pretty Christmas card ready for my stash. I'm getting quite a collection. I need to do a count again. And we'll get the other center laid down on this. And I think they're really pretty. When you see the press and foil plates, you think, you know. But then when you see the impact that they have on the cards, they're just stunning, fantastic. Love them. Could have left them alone, but sometimes I just can't help myself. I've got to add all the bits and pieces to it. So I've got 4 great cards. I hope you like them. I did take individual pictures of each card so that you could see a close-up of them. Tried to zoom in a little bit so that you could get a really good look at them. I think they're really pretty. I love the black and the gold with the alabaster. And then we've got the teal colors on the gold. I think it's really pretty. Very formal looking festive cards. So if you like, consider hitting that like, and if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe. Here's a couple more videos you might be interested in watching.